I'd like to say, on behalf of all Americans, that you are welcome. Hey guys, it's Amanda. The British people have given the world many things like the ATM, the World Wide Web, chocolate, and humor, which over the last 10 years I have come to love so much. However, today isn't about that. It's about things Brits stole from other countries. I know. I don't believe it either. Having said that, if you do have something that you know Brits stole, put it in the comments.
Care to join us for a spot of tea? Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 things Britain has stolen from other countries. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we will be looking at things that you thought were quintessentially British, but as it turns out, are actually taken from other countries and cultures. Number 10. Baked beans. The humble baked bean has made a home in every household cupboard in Britain. It's a staple. It's part of the national cuisine. You can't have a proper full English breakfast without beans on the plate. However, baked beans don't originally come from Britain, and we actually have our American friends to thank for the dish. The Heinz brand of tinned beans were originally sold in the UK in Fortnum and Mason as a fancy and exotic US import. And now America thinks it's weird that we eat them on toast. What gives? Number 9.
I did not know that. Well, I'd like to say, on behalf of all Americans, that you are welcome. We are happy to have given you one of your most British snacks. No, but I genuinely had no idea that baked beans were American. Because our baked beans are quite different to yours. Like, they're usually like barbecue flavor and things like that, which is why we think it's weird that Brits eat them on toast, because that would be disgusting.
Penny farthing. Do you remember the penny farthing bicycle from history in school? The contraption, named after two British coins because of its ridiculous uneven wheel size, is seen as a symbol of incredible Victorian engineering and wealth. The design is credited to inventor James Starley, who created it around 1870. But the bicycle originates with French engineer Eugene Meyer, who patented the wire-spoked wheel and created a similar high wheel design in Paris a year before Starley's. Meyer is now, rightfully, considered to be the father of the unique contraption. Number 8. Football. We may sing that football's coming home, but its original home isn't actually in the UK. True, footy is quintessentially British and the first football association was created in England, but the earliest known form of football was a Chinese sport called Kuju, which was basically an ancient version of keepy-uppy. Whilst FIFA also recognises the ancient Greek game of Episkairos as being an early version of the game, modern football appears to have come from a similar game played in England in the Middle Ages.
Did he say it was called Keepy Uppy? Never heard that before. And one of Britain's greatest loves was stolen. No way. Can't believe it. No, in all seriousness, of course it had to start somewhere. And you can't really steal a sport, can you? It just evolves over time and turns into something else.
Number 7. Freddie Mercury. The flamboyant, strutting rock and roll star we all know as Freddie Mercury may seem as British as they come, but he was actually born in Zanzibar as Farouk Bulsara. Mercury spent his formative years in what's now Tanzania and then in India, which is where he learned to play piano. It wasn't until he was 17 that his family moved over to Middlesex in the UK. We should be thankful that he did, or he may never have gone on to front the legendary rock band Queen. Number 6.
So, this list is going to be ridiculous. The title was Things Brits Stole from Other Country. They're stretching, like stealing people. You naughty Brits. Oh, this is going to be a good list.
Polo. Polo, the sport of kings, such a noble sport. Such a British sport. Actually, no. The famous sport of the English upper classes wasn't actually invented by the Brits. It was originally played thousands of years ago in Central Asia and most notably Persia, where it was also a favourite with the nobility. The game's popularity eventually stretched to China and South Asia. It was then in India in the 19th century that the British picked the sport up, before taking it home and completely making it their own. Number 5. The Queen. You would be forgiven for assuming that the Queen of the United Kingdom herself might be British, but you guessed it, you'd be wrong again. Her Madge actually comes from a family of German descent. The royal's name was originally Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, but they changed it in 1917 during World War I, essentially for PR reasons. If you look back through the monarchy's history, you'll see that most of the bloodlines are actually made up by nobility of many different countries, mostly from across Europe. Number 4. Pubs.
I need to look that up. Is that actually true? Because that's actually quite interesting. I've never actually looked into it to even know, but that's piqued my interest.
The local, the boozer, the ale house, whatever you want to call it, the pub is surely something distinctly British. There's one in every town. In some towns, there's one on every corner. The good old public house may now be as British as Churchill, but it was actually brought to these shores by the Romans. When the Roman armies invaded, they brought with them the concept of road networks. Along with that, they then set up pubs as convenient stop-offs along the way. Number 3. St. George. He's the patron saint of England. You'd think he'd at least be British, right? Nope. The dragon-slaying knight may be a symbol of English bravery and honour, but English he is not. This legendary figure is actually believed to have been born in Syria to a Greek Christian family. He was adopted as the patron saint of England by King George III in the 14th century, but Georgie is also the patron saint of, just to name a few, Georgia, Beirut, Iberia, Brazilian football club Corinthians, and the sexually transmitted disease, syphilis. Number 2. Fish and chips. Ask anyone what the national dish of Great Britain is, and the answer is usually one of two things, a Sunday roast or fish and chips. Only that second one isn't actually British. The battered beauty is actually believed to have been brought to the UK in the 17th century by Jewish immigrants hailing from either Spain or Portugal. Even the chip is believed to have been invented by a Belgian housewife when she was out of fish and opted to fry potatoes as a substitute. As if that's not bad enough, the classic dishes of cauliflower cheese, beef Wellington and mince pies aren't actually British either. Number 1. Tea.
Well, I happen to love a chippy tea, so thank you for bringing them over. We appreciate it.
This. Take anything but this. There's surely nothing more British than a good cup of tea, right? Well, actually there is, and the classic brew isn't quite as British as we're usually led to believe. Tea has been drunk in China for thousands of years as a medicinal drink. It's only been consumed in the UK since the 16th century, when the Portuguese Princess Catherine of Braganza married Charles II. She had a taste for a cuppa, and so it became fashionable amongst the British royalty, and eventually its popularity grew and imports boomed. Do you agree with our picks?
No. That list was baloney. Know the word for it. All of those things were brought over to Brits by foreigners. They didn't go over there, snatch them, and then run away laughing. None of those things were stolen. Not one. If it wasn't for the title, it was a bit clickbaity, if I've ever seen one. But is there anything that Britain actually stole that you would like to share? If so, put it in the comments. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Smash that like button if that's what you're into. And I'll see you in the next video.